Hey, you in trouble with the wrong people? Your bookie, your barber, your mother? Come on down to Mikey's Witness Protection Warehouse, where we hide you so good, even you won't find yourself. We got disguises for every situation. You want to vanish like a Vegas debt collector? Boom, we got the Gone in 60 Seconds special. Need a fresh start? We'll hook you up with a fake passport, a new name, and a job at a cannoli stand in Toledo. Frankie Two Forks. I was Frankie Two Forks. Now I'm Larry the Plumber. Nobody suspects nothing, except maybe my accent. All our services come with a lifetime warranty or until the feds catch you, whichever comes first. Big Tony. Hey Mike, what about witness relocation for pets? Tony, no one's looking for your goldfish, all right? Mikey's Witness Protection Warehouse, hide smart, not hard. Call today and mention the code word "forget about it" for a free burner phone and 2 fake IDs. Mikey's Witness Protection Warehouse is not affiliated with the U.S. government, the FBI, or anyone with actual authority. Side effects may include new accents, strange relatives, and sudden urges to start over in Tampa. So don't wait. Disappear today and tell him Mikey sent you. Actually, don't tell him nothing. Mikey's Witness Protection Warehouse. We'll make you a nobody professionally.
Mugs, what the fuck you doing in there, you prick?
The Mafia today. Is the mob still active? A Pizzaverse Studios documentary. A Palermo Productions original. Written by Bambi Palermo. Narrated by Vincent DiPrio. For much of the 20th century, the American Mafia dominated organized crime. The names became legendary. Al Capone, Lucky Luciano, Tony Accardo, John Gotti. Powerful criminal organizations known as La Cosa Nostra families controlled gambling, loan sharking, labor unions, construction rackets, and entertainment industries across the United States. For decades, the Mafia seemed unstoppable. But by the late 1980s and early 1990s, something changed. Federal investigations intensified. New laws allowed prosecutors to target entire criminal organizations. And for the first time in Mafia history, mob bosses began cooperating with the government. Many believed the Mafia was finished. But organized crime rarely disappears. It evolves. Today, more than a century after the Mafia first appeared in America, investigators say organized crime still exists, quieter, more cautious, and often hidden in places few people expect. This is the story of the Mafia today. The Rico Revolution. The turning point in the fight against organized crime came in 1970 with the passage of the Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, better known as RICO. RICO allowed federal prosecutors to charge entire criminal organizations instead of just individual crimes. Suddenly, mob bosses could be held responsible for crimes committed by members of their organization. This law became one of the most powerful tools ever used against organized crime. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, major mafia figures were prosecuted under RICO. Entire leadership structures were dismantled. Some bosses received life sentences. Others chose to cooperate with federal authorities. The Mafia's code of silence, omerta, began to break. The fall of the old bosses. During the late 20th century, some of the most powerful mafia figures in American history were removed from power. John Gotti, the flamboyant boss of the Gambino family, was convicted in 1992 and sentenced to life in prison. Vincent the Chin Gigante, boss of the Genovese family, was eventually imprisoned after years of pretending to be mentally ill. Across New York, Philadelphia, Chicago, and other cities, federal investigations weakened many traditional mafia families. At the same time, new criminal organizations began emerging. Russian organized crime groups, Eastern European syndicates, Asian criminal networks, drug cartels from Latin America. The criminal landscape was changing rapidly, but the mafia was not entirely gone. A quieter mafia. Today, many investigators say the mafia still exists, but it operates differently than it did decades ago. Instead of flashy mob bosses appearing in newspapers, modern organized crime leaders keep extremely low profiles. They avoid public attention. They limit violence. And they rely heavily on legitimate businesses as cover for illegal activity. Traditional mafia rackets such as loan sharking and illegal gambling still exist, but many operations have moved into new areas. The rise of internet gambling. One of the most profitable modern rackets connected to organized crime is online gambling. Illegal sports betting websites have become a major revenue source for criminal organizations. These websites often operate offshore to avoid U.S. laws. Bettors can place wagers using mobile devices from anywhere in the country. Behind the scenes, criminal groups collect debts from losing gamblers, sometimes through intimidation, sometimes through violence. Law enforcement agencies have uncovered multiple cases in which modern mafia groups were linked to illegal gambling networks operating online. The technology changed, but the racket remained the same.
You ever notice how the mob used to be simple? Cash in envelopes. Payphones on street corners. A handshake meant something. Back then, if you had a problem, you buried it. Today, you got smartphones, cloud backups, GPS tracking, and some 25-year-old FBI tech kid named Kevin reading your text messages like it's a bedtime story. That's where today's sponsor comes in. Introducing MobWipe TM, the digital evidence remover. Did you send a message you shouldn't have sent? Maybe you told somebody where the money was. Maybe you mentioned a name. Maybe you typed something like, "Yeah, boss, I took care of it." Relax. With MobWipe TM, you can erase texts, photos, call logs, and those late-night voice messages where you tried to sound tough after 3 glasses of scotch. MobWipe TM wipes clean. Suspicious text messages. Questionable transactions. Incriminating selfies. And those group chats called family business. But that's not all. Upgrade to MobWipe Pro TM and you'll also get automatic alibi generator, fake GPS history, I was at my cousin's wedding mode, and our newest feature, witness protection browser cleaner. So now you can erase search history like, how long does a wiretap last? Can the FBI read encrypted messages? And everybody's favorite, best place to hide a body in New Jersey. Because let's face it, modern mob life ain't what it used to be. Back in the day, you had loyalty. Now you got screenshots. That's why today's wise guys trust MobWipe TM. Because sometimes the best defense is deleting the evidence. Mob wipe TM. In the digital age, you can't whack the hard drive, but you can wipe it. Forget about it.
Modern investigations. Despite the perception that organized crime disappeared, federal authorities continue to investigate mafia activity. The FBI's organized crime program still actively monitors several American mafia families. Investigations in recent years have uncovered rackets involving construction fraud, union corruption, illegal gambling, money laundering, drug trafficking, and international financial crimes. Some modern mafia cases involve cooperation with foreign criminal organizations. This globalization has made organized crime more complex than ever. The digital underworld. Technology has transformed organized crime. Encrypted messaging apps, cryptocurrency transactions, online fraud schemes, cybercrime operations. These tools allow criminal groups to operate across international borders with greater secrecy than ever before. While traditional mafia groups once relied on social clubs and face-to-face meetings, today's criminal networks often communicate digitally. But investigators say the underlying structure of organized crime has not changed. The same hierarchy, the same loyalty, the same pursuit of profit. The mafia's future. Experts remain divided on the future of the American Mafia. Some believe traditional mafia families have permanently weakened. Others argue that organized crime organizations adapt to survive. History suggests that criminal networks rarely disappear completely. They simply change. What once operated in smoky back rooms and social clubs now moves quietly through online networks and legitimate businesses. And as long as illegal money exists, someone will try to control it. The mafia of today does not look like the mafia of the past. There are fewer public bosses, less open violence, and far more secrecy. But organized crime continues to evolve, and law enforcement agencies continue the long battle against it. The story of the mafia is not just a chapter in American history. It is an ongoing struggle between criminal organizations and the institutions trying to stop them. And that story is still being written. From the bootlegging empires of prohibition to the digital crime networks of the modern world, organized crime has constantly adapted to survive. The faces may change. The methods may evolve. But the pursuit of power and profit remains the same. Thank you for watching this Pizzaverse Studios documentary. For more deep dives into organized crime history, true crime investigations, and cinematic documentary storytelling, be sure to follow Pizzaverse Studios and Palermo Productions. New documentaries coming soon. Credits. Pizzaverse Studios. A Palermo Productions documentary. Written by Bambi Palermo. Narrated by Vincent Di Prio. Executive Production. Pizzaverse Studios. Special thanks. The Pizzaverse community.
They call it sugar. But let's be honest. This isn't sweet. It's temptation. Welcome to Bambi's Sugar Syndicate, where chocolate is rich, the flavors linger, and every bite feels a little forbidden. Slow crafted, small batch, infused with espresso, velvet cocoa, and bold indulgence. This isn't candy you rush. This is candy you surrender to. One taste. And suddenly, you're breaking your own rules. No shortcuts. No apologies. Just luxury, done dangerously right. Bambi's Sugar Syndicate. Luxury candy. Criminally good. Go ahead. You deserve it.
Pizzaverse Studios documentary. A Palermo Productions original. Chicago. A city built on power, money, and secrets. By the 1950s, the Chicago outfit had become one of the most powerful criminal organizations in America. Casinos. Gambling. Labor unions. Millions of dollars flowing through an empire that stretched from Chicago to Las Vegas. But behind the scenes, one man was rising to the top. A mob boss with a sharp mind and dangerous connections. His name was Sam Giancana, known on the streets as Momo. A ruthless gangster who took control of the Chicago outfit during one of the most volatile periods in American history. But Giancana wasn't just another mob boss. Because in the shadows of the Cold War, the United States government was fighting a different kind of battle. Communism was spreading across the world. And in 1959, a revolution in Cuba brought Fidel Castro to power. American intelligence agencies were desperate to remove him. But they needed help. Help from people who knew Cuba. People who knew violence. People who knew how to make someone disappear. And that's when the CIA turned to an unlikely ally. The American Mafia. At the center of those secret conversations was Sam Giancana. Through hidden meetings, secret plots, and back-channel deals, federal agents and mob figures allegedly worked together in attempts to eliminate Castro. It was a strange alliance. Spies and gangsters. Government officials and organized crime. An operation so secret that even decades later, the full truth remains hidden in classified files. But Giancana's connections didn't stop there. His name would eventually surface in some of the most controversial investigations in American history. Rumors involving Hollywood, political power, and even whispers surrounding the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Whether those rumors were fact or conspiracy remains one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century. But one thing is certain. Sam Giancana lived at the intersection of crime, politics, and espionage. And in 1975, just days before he was scheduled to testify before a Senate investigation into CIA activities, Giancana was found murdered in his Chicago home. Shot multiple times in his own kitchen. A mob boss who knew too many secrets. A man who once played both sides of the law. Silenced forever. Sam Giancana. The mob boss who played with the CIA. a Pizzaverse Studios mafia documentary. A Palermo Productions original. Coming soon.
They're trying to shoot down angels. They're trying to pull their wings off so they can't fly. And oh, but she's so brave though, just like a tornado. She's taking us by storm. You can't stop the girl from going. You can't stop the world from knowing the truth will set you free. Oh, you can't stop the girl from going. You can't stop the world from knowing the truth will set you free. Oh, you can't stop the girl. They're trying to take our voices. They're trying to make our choices. So we scream loud, loud, loud. And oh, I know you feel the lightning, and it's so exciting. So here we come. You can't stop the girl from going. You can't stop the world from knowing the truth will set you free. Oh, you can't stop the girl from going. You can't stop the world from knowing the truth will set you free. Oh, you can't stop the girl. You can't stop the girl. You can't stop the girl. No, you can't stop the girl. Oh, I know you feel the lightning, and it's so exciting. So here we come.